When will we stop long enough in our own pursuit of consumption-driven dopamine to realize that the innovation that allows for this ultra-convenient consumerism is killing us? It's thrown the notion of collective-oriented existence out the window and welcomed in something much more sinister: individual-oriented gratification. Convenience is gold in the society of the isolated. Why? Because isolation doesn't allow for the mutually beneficial relationships that exist in community. Those mutually beneficial relationships make it easier for everyone to survive by sharing and protecting resources on a practical level, but also by giving us access to the socialization that's needed for physical and mental well-being. If you don't believe that, just think about how solitary confinement is pretty much universally accepted to be the second worst punishment for crime, second only to capital punishment. So we pretty much, as a people, agree that the only thing worse than death is solitude. We are a social species that relies on each other to survive. However, we've grown increasingly isolated from each other. Alienation made it possible for us to seek to meet our human needs in such a distorted way that a whole range of products, which are completely unnecessary and even harmful, became central to a sense of self-worth. Amazon is genius in that it capitalized on the growing need for convenient consumerism in a society dying of loneliness. Convenient consumerism is the temporary cure for the sickness that comes from the loss of community. Temporary. Consumerism acts as a cure, but it's actually inflicting a much deeper wound. Let's get into it. It's July 1994. 30-year-old Jeff Bezos left his job on Wall Street to pursue a digital startup during the time of the internet boom. He called it Cadabra at first, but within a few months changed it to Amazon. Fast forward to a year later, in 1995, Amazon officially published its website as an online bookseller, which serviced all 50 states and 45 other countries. After running in the red for a few years, meaning they were not making a profit, Amazon extended beyond just selling books in 1998. Within 3 years, by 2001, they started to turn a profit. And from 2002 to 2003, they saw net profits grow from $3 million to $73 million. And well, the rest is history. Amazon's net profit for the year 2024 was over $59 billion. Billion. So how did they go from this to this?
All the stuff that I've ordered from Amazon the past 3 weeks.
Let's open a week's worth of Amazon and PR packages.
Well, two big things happened in the early 2000s that cemented Amazon as a mega successful corporation. And these were: one, launching Amazon Web Services, AWS, in 2002, and two, launching Amazon Prime in 2005. Both of these innovations gave Amazon early access to two of the most prominent and lucrative markets. And those two markets are large entities that need access to advanced technology and rogue consumers who buy first and think later. So let me explain. Let's expand on this. AWS is a commercially available cloud computing software which delivers computing services including servers, storage, databases, networking, software, analytics, and intelligence over the internet, the cloud, to offer faster innovation, flexible resources, and economies of scale. So Amazon created it to help streamline its own IT infrastructure needs, but also to help other companies and individuals do the same, thereby making it easier for all to access advanced technology in an increasingly digital world. It's very expensive and time-consuming for companies to build and maintain their own IT systems. AWS makes it so that they don't have to worry about that. They can just pay Amazon for the tech services they need. With AWS, they successfully cemented themselves as a major player in the world of big tech. And to reiterate, in doing this, they secured access to one of the most prominent, lucrative markets in the world. Large entities, think corporations and governments, who need access to advanced technology and have the means to pay top dollar for it. The US Department of Defense, they have several contracts with AWS, as do several other governments and militaries all over the globe. So the other major thing they launched in the early 2000s was Amazon Prime in 2005. We probably all are more familiar with what Prime is, considering we are its target market, everyday consumers. Amazon Prime is a subscription service where members can pay a monthly, yearly fee in order to access 2-day shipping on virtually all items. No matter what it is, Amazon promises they can get it to you in 2 days or less, which they marketed as all-you-can-eat express shipping. Along with this, and to help make this possible, they launched the Fulfilled by Amazon program, which allowed businesses to send and store their products in Amazon fulfillment centers for a fee. Amazon will sell and ship these products for them, thereby streamlining the whole process of buying for both businesses and consumers. So with this innovation, they're tapping into another very prominent and lucrative market. Consumers who will buy first and think later. Consumers who froth at the mouth for instant gratification. Consumers who are desperate for convenience. So at this point, not only has Amazon established another revenue stream through getting account holders to pay a monthly subscription fee, but they now also have a consumer base that's likely to buy more things from them. They have to make that subscription worth it, right? A study done by Consumer Intelligence Research Partners estimated that in 2024, Prime members spent $1,170 per year at Amazon, compared to $570 per year for non-Prime customers. In 2005, Prime started out at $79 a year. In 2014, it went up to $99 a year. 2015 was when the infamous Prime Day started, in which they give special deals on thousands of items to Prime members. In 2018, Prime went up again from $99 a year to $119 a year. And in 2022, it went up yet again to $139 a year, which is where it currently stands today. So now the year is 2025. An estimated 240 million people worldwide are subscribed to Amazon Prime, up from 46 million in 2015, the year that Prime Day started. That is a 500% increase in Amazon Prime subscriptions in the last 10 years. Amazon Prime's revenue for 2024 was $44 billion, up from $4 billion in 2015. That is over a 1,000% increase in the past 10 years. So let's do a little thought experiment. Do you think there is such a thing as too much growth? Why or why not? Pause this and actually think about that for a second. So we're gonna get a little bit philosophical for a moment. Just stay with me. My philosophy is that there is such a thing as too much growth, and here's why. The way I see it is we are infinite beings existing in a finite system. Finite does not mean scarce. There are more than enough resources for everyone that exists right now to be able to survive if we allocated the resources fairly. So finite does not mean scarce, okay? Finite means having definite or definable limits. We are infinite beings in the sense that our innovation, our creativity, our minds have no limits. We can create anything. Look at our technologies, look at our innovations. It's amazing. Where we're limited is in our physical biology. In the life sciences, we're always learning about equilibrium, balance. Every single system in our bodies and in nature has a tendency towards homeostasis, which is a state of balance among all the body systems needed for the body to survive and function correctly. Take something like cancer, which is the uncontrollable division of cells in the body, limitless growth. Cells start to divide and divide, grow and grow, until there are so many cells that the body system they're in doesn't have space for. This limitless growth in one part of the body throws off the balance in the whole body. A person starts to feel sick. they start to feel pain. That body system where the cancer began starts to not be able to function properly for survival. If gone unchecked, this will lead to metastasization, which is when the cancer spreads to other parts of the body, throwing off the balance of the system even more, causing more sickness, more pain. So coming back full circle, we are infinite beings existing in a finite system. Our minds, being infinite, lead us to believe that we can sustain limitless growth, an unspoken tenet of capitalism. Under capitalism, we innovate and expand and grow as long as there's profits to be made. But guess what? There's always going to be profits to be made because money is fake. Despite the fact that we are now in a very real, complex economic system, and despite the fact that money does confer real power, money is still a concept that we made up. What's not made up is the biological requirement for equilibrium, balance, homeostasis. That's why civilizations pre-capitalism, pre-money, still had an innate understanding of the need for communal homeostasis, communal survival. They understood that there needed to be balanced exchanges between human beings, but also between human beings and the natural environment in order to survive. In our rabid pursuit of paper with symbols on it, we've forgotten that we exist in a delicate, finite system that requires balance in order to survive. Just like an aggressive cancer without any treatment or intervention will cause death in a microbiological sense, limitless, unchecked growth in our more macro systems, economies, governments will also lead to death. And it's happening already. January 2013, Jeff Lockhart Jr. collapsed and passed away in an Amazon warehouse during his overnight shift. December 2013, Ronald Smith was crushed to death by equipment in an Amazon warehouse. July 2022, Rafael Reynaldo Mota Frias died of cardiac arrest on the job during Prime Day. Also July 2022, Roger Boland fell from a ladder while on the job, hit his head, and later passed away from his injuries. December 2022, Rick Jacobs died of cardiac arrest at the end of his overnight shift. Witnesses say a makeshift barrier around the deceased worker using large cardboard bins was used to block off the area on the outbound shipping dock where the incident occurred. As workers arrived for their day shift, they say they were not notified about what was going on and continued working as usual, while a deceased colleague remained in the facility and emergency responders awaited the arrival of a coroner. Do you see the problem yet? And that is unfortunately only some of the on-the-job deaths that have happened in Amazon facilities. In 2021, the Strategic Organizing Center found that Amazon had more than twice the amount of workplace injuries than Walmart, a company of comparable size and scope. The same organization conducted a survey of injured Amazon workers in 2024 and found that 37% of them claimed to have felt pressured by management to return back to work before they felt fully healed. Many injured workers also struggle with getting workers' compensation and approved time off for doctor-ordered rest and physical therapy. The cause of these workplace injuries? Irene Tung, senior researcher and policy analyst at NEOP, and Debbie Berkowitz, worker health and safety director at NEOP, explained Amazon's high injury rates are a result of rapid work paces, surveillance, and disciplinary systems. They added that workers have to operate under constantly changing rules and metrics, regulatory agencies are underfunded, and worker protections are inadequate. Not only does Amazon have concerningly high rates of workplace injuries, there are many reported incidences of AmCare sending workers back to work after they complained of pain or injury. AmCare refers to the on-site medical care facilities owned and operated by Amazon at their warehouses. The OMRs, on-site medical representatives that work in AmCare, are typically trained EMTs or nurses, but their scope of practice in this environment is very limited because there's no doctor or medical director that they work under. This, along with the fact that they have limited/cheap supplies, means they can only really provide basic first aid for the workers. So they're not actually equipped to respond to serious medical emergencies or injuries. And ultimately, they work for Amazon, the company. not the people. All that being said, there's a very serious problem happening due to Amazon's limitless growth. Not only were human beings never designed to work at this level of intensity, we were also never designed to have this much access to consumption. Amidst all this horrific labor abuse, Amazon continues to successfully encourage mindless overconsumption through incessant advertising, market domination, and so-called sales. My personal favorite, due to pure satirical irony, were the Labor Day sales they were rolling out a couple weeks ago. Labor Day sales? As in the Labor Day that commemorates the working class revolution against poor working conditions? We have social media influencers with millions of followers constantly directing their viewers to their Amazon storefront so they can get more things they don't need. These same influencers then take a luxury trip with Amazon to showcase their pretty clothes and cool gadgets they got from them, running ads for them on the notorious and deadly Prime Day. It's not even just the influencers, it's everyday people constantly getting packages from Amazon. A survey done by Upgraded Points found that the average American spends $100 a month on Amazon, and that may not sound like a lot to some, but when you multiply that by the hundreds of millions of shoppers, yeah, that's a lot of money. The same survey found that 25% of Americans buy from Amazon 1 or more times per week, while 33% of Americans believe they've spent more money on Amazon this year than they have in their savings account. So while workers are literally dying and consumers are crumbling under the weight of the rising cost of living and their own expensive addiction to consumption, Amazon and other major corporations are cashing out. The rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer and dying at an alarming rate. So when do we draw a line between innovation and self-destruction? Is it when Amazon, through AWS, is using its innovations to help a genocidal regime develop lethal weapons, illegally surveil people, and expand illegal settlements on stolen land? How about when Amazon uses its innovations to promote consumerism so hard that its own warehouse workers are dropping dead on the job, while the workers around them are forced to continue working because there's so much work to be done, there's so many packages to push out? When will we stop long enough in our own pursuit of consumption-driven dopamine to realize that the innovation that allows for this ultra-convenient consumerism is killing us? It's thrown the notion of collective-oriented existence out the window and welcomed in something much more sinister: individual-oriented gratification. I want it and I can get it right now. Click. No questions asked. And this is why consumerism is the perfection of slavery, an idea that I picked up from this amazing video. Consumers don't ask questions. They knowingly walk into their cage and lock the door on themselves if it means they can have the things they want whenever they want. The things work to distract the consumer from seeing their own cage. But the gag is that even if they do see their own cage, the things make life in that cage just bearable enough for them to stay within its confines. Point being, the age of Amazon is killing us, and I'm not sure how many of us even know it. They're so good at coercing us to buy more, buy more, buy more. It's Prime Day, buy this, and don't think about the fact that you're in debt and I am getting hundreds of millions of dollars a day. It's Labor Day, buy this, and don't think about the fact that I'm actively exploiting my laborers as we speak. What began as bright-eyed, bushy-tailed innovation filled with excitement and potential at the dawn of a new age in society has become a monster. A monster fueled so strongly by greed and power that it won't stop even when human beings are dying at its hands. Do you see the problem? Innovation is amazing and necessary, but when fueled by the promise of limitless profit, it will always come at a cost much greater than any monetary value. That cost is morality, life, a livable planet, and balance. I hope this video was informative. I hope it was helpful. I hope it got you thinking about things maybe in a new way. maybe in a deeper way. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments, whether you agree, whether you disagree. I'd love to hear them. If you enjoy videos like this, be sure to check out some of my past uploads and hit the subscribe button and turn on your post notifications so you can be notified every time I upload. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.